All right, so the first example I want to do is I want to just sketch a couple of lines together. So let's just sketch y equals x. And so think about it with me. I've given you this line, this equation, and you can tell just looking at it that the slope m is 1. Going back to our slope-intercept form here, the slope m is 1. And then there is no b, which means there actually is a b. b is 0. And so that means if we want to graph the line, the y-intercept is when y is 0. X is always 0 for the y-intercept. Y is 0. The slope is 1. So you go out 1, then you go up 1, and that's going to be the next point on our line. And so we can graph y equals x, and it looks just like this. And the point is it's a 45-degree line through the origin. That's a line you should be familiar with. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do y equals negative 2x plus 1. And so we could, first we can write down the y-intercept is 1. So we're going to go to 1 on the y-axis and put a dot. We know the line passes through the point 0, 1. The slope is negative 2. So what does that mean? That means negative 2 is rise over run. So for every 1 unit of run, you drop negative 2 units. So you can think about this as negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go out from my line. I'm going to go out 1. And then I'm going to drop 1, 2, and put a point. And so that is the line. Let me see if I can line this thing up here and then drop it where I want it. That's the line that I get. That's what minus 2x plus 1 looks like. Kind of missed my point there, but close enough. Okay, so that reminds me, just a real quick comment about the signs of slopes. So the first thing that I want to make is if m is positive, then your line is somehow generally increasing. When I talk about increasing, I mean left to right. When m is negative, if you have negative slope, all that means is your line is decreasing. Again, left to right. And do we have room to squeeze in 0? I think we'll try over here. Well, let's drop down. If I have m equals 0, slope 0, this means there is 0 rise over any given of run. It means you've got a horizontal line. So here is a line with slope 0. Okay, so that's that. That's probably all we really need. Maybe I'll say one more word about slopes and then we'll end this video. Just to compare different slopes. So I mentioned before that the slope of a line tells you how steep it is. So we already saw here's an equation with slope 1. This is m equals 1. I'm just going to kind of draw these roughly. Whoa. Let me drag this where I want it. This might be m equals 2, and this might be m equals, well, if it'll straighten out for me there, let's try that again. This might be m equals negative 3, so on and so forth. So the larger the slope, the steeper it gets. Here would be m equals 10, and here would be m equals 100. And so on and so forth. And then the larger negative, just the more steep negative it gets. And you can see as the slope gets larger and larger, the line gets steeper and steeper. And so a vertical line is a line with sort of undefined slope or infinite slope, if you will. All right, so that's all that we really need for lines. We will talk a little bit about regression in the next video.